Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and this is Stitched Up. So today I'm back with my makes for April and this vlog is going to be split into two. I've had a very prolific month in April. I don't know about you, but for me, while we've been on lockdown, I seem to have had a lot more time and a lot more energy to sew. And I think because obviously we've been restricted in what else we can do, sewing has been at the forefront of my mind for all the time that I've not been working. So yeah, I have made a lot of things in April. I've totted everything up and it comes to around 25 different garments. So I've decided that I'm going to split this vlog into two because otherwise you'd be here all day. And I'm going to do separates in one vlog and dresses and jumpsuits in another. So this video is going to be my separates vlog. So let's get into it because there's a lot to get through. So the first thing I will tell you about is what I'm wearing. This is the Misty Cami by Sew Altered Style, and we've had a fair bit of nice weather in April, actually unseasonably warm for us in the UK, and I wanted to make another few camis for the summer coming up, and this was one of them that I decided to make. Now it comes in various different options. You have the crossback, which is the version I've done. I'll put a picture of the pattern up here, or you can also just do the plain back. I decided obviously to do the crossback straps, and you can also lengthen this and make it into a dress as well. So it's quite a versatile pattern. I would say that the pattern instructions are straightforward, apart from when it comes to inserting the cross straps. It doesn't actually tell you to which way round you do them, and as I found to my cost, for those of you that watched my Stitched Up weekly videos, you actually need to make sure that the cross straps sit behind the main shoulder straps, otherwise they get twisted and you end up in a bit of a mess. So I will insert some better pictures of me wearing this top, but essentially you have obviously lovely cross straps at the back, and it's got bust darts in here, and it's a nice sort of fit and flare style. Now I do like this top. It's a bit of a hot mess inside, I will say, because I had a bit of wrangling with it, and the reason for that was it does tell you to interface the facings inside, which I did, but I found because I've used this lovely lightweight viscose fabric that I got from eBay, it just meant that when the facings were interfaced, it was pulling across my upper chest and it didn't hang right, it didn't sit right, plus in combination with the crossed straps that I ended up doing, it just was a bit of a mess. So I didn't want to give up on it. I did persevere with it. I took all the interfacing off the facings and I changed the straps around. I did need to shorten the straps slightly, especially the cross straps, by about ½ an inch. So just bear that in mind, and I'm tall as well, I'm 5'10". And I lengthened the pattern. I also dropped the bust darts by about ½ an inch as well. I'm not actually quite sure why this top needs bust darts, I'll be perfectly honest with you, because you know, it's like a trapeze style. It doesn't cinch it in by having the bust darts. I just don't understand why it needs them, to be honest. But you know, the resulting top, when I've actually got it to work, I'm really happy with. I do like the style. I do think it's a little bit finicky. You know, I mean, even down to ridiculous things like ironing, which, you know, it's a viscose top. I can't exactly just throw it in the washer and then put it on. You know, the straps need ironing, the facings need ironing. It's a bit awkward to iron, I'll be honest. And to get in and out of as well because of all the straps at the back. You know, it looks nice when it's on, but how much I'll reach for it, I honestly don't know. I do prefer the Oden, I'll be honest. The Oden is my tried and true cami, but I just wanted to try something different. I have done a very narrow hem on the bottom of the hem here, just on my sewing machine using my narrow hem foot, and I really like that effect, especially on viscose. So all in all, I guess it is a win, but I wasn't excited about it as much as I thought I would be when I took this pattern on. So that's my first make. These are in no particular order, by the way. So the next thing I'm going to show you is what I'm wearing on my bottom half, which are a shorts version of the Hudson Pants. So those of you that watched my March vlog, I'm going to try not to show off my midriff here. Right, so those of you that watched my March vlog will know that I made the Hudson Pants back in March, and it's the first time I've made them. I've had the pattern for a long time, really loved them, and I decided I just wanted an easy pair of fleecy shorts that I could just throw on for around the house, and that's what I did. So all I did was I just chopped off the leg. I've included pockets in these. This is a fleece back fabric that I got from Colville last year. I think it was really cheap. I put the waistband in, but I haven't bothered with the drawstring. It's just an elasticated waist. As I say, it's got pockets. I've left the bottom edge raw because I just like that effect. I like how it curls up. And you know, what can I say? They're just a pair of shorts really, but as I say, they're great for wearing around the house, in the garden. I can just throw them on after a bath or a shower, and yeah, I'm really pleased with them. I definitely will make them again. I think the only thing I didn't do, which I should have done, is when you look at a pair of shorts that have been properly drafted, you'll notice that the back pattern pieces are slightly longer than the front pattern pieces, and that's to obviously allow for your bottom, and I didn't do that. I just chopped them straight off. So if I make these again, I mean, obviously, like I say, they are designed just for in the house and the garden, but if I do decide to make another pair, I will just give myself a little bit more coverage in the bottom area, shall we say. So anyway, really quick, easy make, and yeah, they're great, as I say, just for lounging about in and throwing on, which is what we want, isn't it, when we're stuck at home? Right, so many of you will know that I've been running a lot more recently as well, getting back into my fitness regime and eating better, and I'm starting to see the results of that, which is really good. My arms are getting a bit more toned now, and my legs are definitely as well, so I'm really pleased with that. So I like making my own running wear, and somebody ages ago, I can't remember who it was, pointed out Greenstyle Creations to me. They do patterns for all different types of athletic wear and some normal clothing as well, and I really like their patterns. So I have previously made the tempo tights of theirs, which are a running compression type pant. I think I've done a sew along for that, so I will link to that vlog down below if you want to go and have a look. But I also bought the Strides, which is another compression fit running pant. The options of choosing which waistband you want, so you can have the low rise, you can have the high rise, and then they've got a contoured waistband as well. I chose the high rise because when I'm running, I want everything held in as much as possible. And you also have options for leg length as well, so you can go for full length, you can go for cropped, you can go for capri, and you can go for shorts as well. So they also have options for putting a side seam pocket in on the outside leg, or an interior waistband pocket as well. So there's lots of options that you get with their patterns, which is really good. And they only cost, I think, about $10. So, and they quite often do discount codes as well. So as I say, I previously made the tempo tights, and I decided that I wanted to have a go at the Strides. So I'll put a picture of the pattern here, and the lycra that I've used is the lycra that I get from Walton's. I just find it really good. It's really reasonably priced, and obviously I can go and visit and feel it and make sure that it's the right kind of lycra that I want. I don't like shiny lycras for wearing on my bottom half because I just don't want anything that's emphasising their size, shall we say. But I have this black lycra in my stash. This is from Walton's, this black lycra, and it's got like it has got a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not super shiny. And I bought a bulk of this. I think I got about 5 meters of it when I last went, and I think it's about £5 a meter. And then they do lots of different lycras as well. So I think I showed you this in one of my fabric hauls, that I got this leopard print lycra as well, and I used it as an accent. So this is the back. My pattern matching is not very good on this pair. I think I've just missed the seam slightly there. You can just see that there. But otherwise, what can I say about these? These are the cropped length, so they come sort of mid-calf, which is exactly what I wanted. I finished the leg seams on my cover stitch. I'm not sure if you can see that. They are all stitched and overlocked inside, so I use a very narrow zigzag stitch when I'm stitching these together, and then I go over the seams with my overlocker, and that gives lots and lots of strength to the seams and good compression fit as well. So It just means that when you're running or you're doing high impact activity, that you know, you've got everything sort of held as tight as you want it to be. This pattern uses invisible elastic just in the waistband seam, which is what I have used, and it works phenomenally. These do not move when I am running, and I have run miles in these. I've done a 7-mile run in these, and the waistband has not moved at all. I haven't included any pockets in these at all because I just wanted a straight fit. They have a little gusset. I know we've discussed gussets before when we talk about athletic wear, but these have an oval gusset in the crotch seam, and it's you can't see it very well there, but I'm certainly not going to show you a picture of me wearing these with the crotch gusset. But yeah, it's got like an oval shaped gusset piece, and this is optional whether you fit this or not, but I would really recommend it if you are ever making leggings and you have the option of adding a gusset piece. Do it, because it just means you get so much more movement. And quite often with leggings, what happens is when you bend, when you sit, that they tend to move a little bit. These do not do that at all, and it's all because of that little piece in the gusset. So it's a really ingenious little thing. I don't know who thought of it, but anyway, yeah, I love these. I love the flash of leopard, and I've made another pair, but you won't get to see those while May. So that's enough of those. Moving on, I'm going to show you the rest of the tops that I made in April. So one of the ones I have here is the Frances top by Fibre Mood. This is a free pattern. I'll put a picture of it here, and this is a top that I've made before. I made it last year out of some gorgeous double gauze with gold spots on that I got from Higgs & Higgs, and I wanted to revisit that pattern because when I made that version I didn't add the seam allowance on, because quite often I just rush ahead with patterns and don't always read the instructions carefully, so don't follow my advice on that one. And then when I'd cut it out of this gorgeous fabric that wasn't cheap, I then read that seam allowance wasn't included, but fortunately because it's an oversized top it worked. Anyway, on this version I did add a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, and it's a very simple top. Really pretty. This fabric I got from Material Girl Laura as a remnant. I think it was 1.1 meters, and considering I have to lengthen my all my patterns, I think I did well to get this out of 1.1 meter. It's a very simple pattern because all it is 2 pattern pieces. You've got a front and a back. The sleeves are grown on, and they have elastic in the sleeves there. The neckband is finished with bias binding, just some satin bias binding that I had in my stash because I didn't have enough of this fabric to make bias binding to match the main fabric. And yeah, it's lovely. It has a higher neckline at the front than the back that you can probably just see there. I will, as I say, put a picture in again of me wearing this so you can have another look, but it's just a really simple top, very quick to make up, and it's lovely. This viscose is gorgeous. I love the print. It's a really nice quality, and yeah, that's about as much as I can say about that, but there will definitely be more of these in my future. So next up, while we're talking about camis, I have made another Ogden, which is the first one that I've made this year, and I've made it out of some viscose that I had in my stash. I've been trying as much as possible to use some of my stash fabrics, although it hasn't stopped me buying any. But yeah, I was rooting around in my stash and found this gorgeous blue viscose, which is a little bit more steely blue than it's coming up on screen. If I put it against me like that, that's more true to colour, but when I bring it close to the camera it looks a lot brighter. It's just a straightforward Ogden. It's beautiful, and I made it to my normal size. I have French seamed all the inside. It's got a little facing, and I've put one of my little stitched up labels in the back there as well. But I found that when I tried this on, it was a little bit tight, and I think that's because I put a fair bit of weight on since last summer, to be honest. So I'm losing it again now, as I've mentioned, with me running, and I'm thinking that this will probably fit me now. So yeah, I would, by the time it gets to really hot weather in summer, this will fit me. So yeah, I love the Ogden. What can I say? You've seen it before. You've seen loads of them before. I've made loads of them before, and I won't stop there. I will be making more. Right, moving on. I also made the I Am Gaia pattern by I Am Patterns. That's it. I cut this out of a metre of crepe fabric that I got from Walton's, and this is it here. I will insert a picture of me wearing it because it's in black, but I just wanted a plain black one. I made another version of this, the first version I made of this, and I reviewed the pattern in another vlog which I will link to down in the description box below. And I made this last year out of a cream crepe and decided then that I'd like a black one as well. Now, I couldn't be bothered to change my overlocking thread, so I've got white and monochrome overlocking thread, but it's fine, you don't see it. I have bias bound the armholes with black satin bias binding. It's got a narrow hem on the bottom, which I don't think you're really going to see, which I just did on my sewing machine with my narrowed hem foot. The only thing I don't like about this pattern is the facings are, as you can see, are really narrow, and I have stitched these down. They're all understitched and they're stitched down at the armhole as well, but they still flip out, and that's really frustrating. So yeah, I think if I make this again, which I probably will, I will deepen the facings so they just are more inclined to sit inside, because I'm constantly having to push these in. The actual pattern as well has like ribbon or bands around the front shoulder straps as well. I haven't included those on this version because I didn't have enough of this crepe left to do that, and I didn't want a contrast. I wanted it out of the same fabric. So I thought I'd leave it and see what it looked like on, and I quite like it, to be honest, without that. It's just a simple V-neck top. I did stretch out the front a little bit, but it's still very wearable. So yeah, so that's just another little top which is really nice to wear, that I can wear for work on a warm sunny day, and I can also wear casually as well if I want to. Right, earlier on in April I made a couple of Jennifer Lauren Gable tops, which the pattern, I will put that up here. And the first one I made is this gorgeous flamingo fabric that I got from Material Girl Laura. It's beautiful, really love this. Now this is it's got a lot of spandex in it, but it's very, very clingy, and it's a straightforward gable with the vintage length elbow sleeves, which is my favourite sleeve. I did finish the sleeve and hems on my cover stitch machine. It's gorgeous, I love it. I'll put some pictures in of me wearing these. I'll probably put them all at the end, to be honest. I think it'll be easier. And yeah, it's lovely. So as soon as I've made this, I decided to make another, but just in plain white. I've got quite a few gables in my wardrobe at the minute, and that's because I just love this pattern. I love the boat neck, on me. I think it's really flattering on my frame. So I made a white one as well. I probably will make a black one. I think, you know, we can never have too many. I've got some bit of fluff on it there. I don't think you can have too many sort of plain basics in your wardrobe, can you? Again, this is the elbow length version, and this is just out of a plain white cotton t-shirt jersey that I think I got from eBay ages ago. You can get white jersey everywhere though, but this one is not as clingy as the flamingo one because it's not got any spandex in it. It's just a cotton jersey, so it tends to be a little bit more looser fitting. So yeah, so really pleased to have another couple of those in my wardrobe. And the last top that I've got to show you today that I made in April is this, which is the Seamwork Skipper. Now this is a pattern that I hacked a while ago to create a lovely bishop sleeve. I saw the I Am Lion pattern by I Am Patterns. I'll put a picture of that here, and really liked that, and didn't consider buying it because I thought, you know what, I can do a hack of this myself out of any sort of sweatshirt pattern. It's going to be fairly straightforward. So did a bit of Googling, looked online for a bishop sleeve hack, and found I think it was the By Hand London tutorial for it. I will link to it down below if I remember. And I did do a vlog on hacking the Seamwork Skipper to more or less do a recreation of the I Am Patterns I Am Lion top. That has a really deep cuff, which is what I've done here, and so I made the skipper a few months ago and decided to make another one, but this one is a cropped version. So all I've done is I actually used the bodice pieces of the Astoria jumper by Seamwork patterns to decide on the length that I wanted this to be, and just added on the waistband from the Astoria onto this as well. So it's a bit of a hack, but it works really well. This fabric is a crepe jersey that I got from Colville Fabrics last year, just plain red, but I really like this top. It's lovely. It's nice having it sort of quite blouson-y at the top and loose fitting, but fitted at the waist and with the lovely bishop sleeves and the deep cuffs. It's really lovely, nice little casual top. Again, this was a super quick make, probably took me an hour tops to make this. So yeah, I'll definitely do this one again. So that's all the tops that I made in April, and now I'm going to move on to bottoms. I've got 3 bottoms to show you. The first one to show you is going back to the Hudsons. I made a cropped version of the Hudson Pants out of this lovely leopard print French terry that I had in my stash. So these are them here. It's gorgeous, this fabric. It's really lovely. I can't remember where I got this from now. I've had it quite a while, and yeah, I've no idea, I'm afraid. But again, I just put the pockets in these. I made these cropped length exactly as the pattern says, with little cuffs on the bottom. I have overlocked all the insides with my rainbow overlocking thread. It's got the deep waistband in, and yeah, what else can I say? They're just another pair of casual pants that I can wear around the house, in the garden, or even for, you know, just going for a little walk. So really pleased. I get a lot of wear out of these. I reach for them all the time, so I'll definitely be making another pair. I also did my first live stream during April as well. It was at the beginning of April, I think, and I know that I'm due to do another one, and I will do one. But during the live stream, I made a pair of Sew Over It Ultimate trousers, and yeah, I basically wanted to raise the waist. Lisa Comfort does have a tutorial for how you can raise the waist of the ultimate trousers, because the original pattern sits on your low waist, and I obviously wanted a high waist version. So I had a look at that, had a play about with the pattern, and I made myself a pair during the live stream that I held, mainly as a wearable toile, so that I could then make a pair out of the Lady McElroy Savannah cotton drill, which I still haven't got around to, but I'm probably going to do those in May. So this is the resulting trousers here. This fabric is a stretch cotton sateen, as you can see, that I got from Walton's Fabrics back at the beginning of the year, and I made a bit of a boo-boo with the fabric. It's a gorgeous fabric, really lovely, and I think it was only about £4 a metre, but I washed it with a red fabric and the red leaked. Now I'm not sure, because these have been washed a few times now, and I'm thinking that the dye has actually come out, but the dye ran basically, and you couldn't really see so much on the outside, but you could on the wrong side of the fabric. But I'm just, you know, there you can see there, look how the dye ran, and it went through to the other side, and some of these little sort of cream diamonds that you can see were, some of these little cream diamonds did actually go red from the dye that leaked through, but I think the majority of it has actually washed out now, so that's not bad. Anyway, you couldn't really see it, but I thought for a wearable toile would be fine. The raising the waist worked really well. Obviously they have an invisible zip in the side, if you've ever made the ultimate trousers before. I love these trousers. They have darts in the front and the back, and I get a lot of wear out of these. They fit amazingly well on my figure, especially with the higher waist. They are sort of ankle grazer length, which is a length that I really like for summer, and I wear these for work nearly every week because they're so comfortable and they're just gorgeous. So I'm definitely going to be making a pair of the Savannah, which I'll put a picture of that pattern here if you've not seen it, but it's one of my favourite fabric designs. I love it, and as I say, I've got some of the cotton drill which has a bit of stretch in it, so I'm definitely going to be making a pair of these. I can whip these up in an hour and a half, as all of the guys that watch the live stream will play testament to, because yeah, I put these together during that live stream and the only thing I had left to do was just to hem them in the morning, the following morning. So yeah, really good pattern, highly recommend it. And the last pair of trousers that I have to show you are another pair of the Peppermint / in the folds wide leg pants, which again is a free pattern, which I will link to down below, and I'll put a picture of them up here. In fact, just let me get a slurp of my coffee because I'm getting a bit dry. So I know that I've been promising a sew along to these, and I have actually filmed a sew along making this particular pair. I just need to edit it and put it all together. But yeah, I've made another pair out of red linen that I got from Walton's, and I love these trousers. They are great, I think, for a nicely fitted around your waist and upper hip, but then flaring out into a culotte length trouser. They are just gorgeous. So these have a fly front, which I will show you how to do a fly front in the tutorial. They've also got these lovely pockets, and they're not side seam pockets, they're sort of front pockets, which I much prefer for my body shape. They have darts in the back as well, and obviously these have been ironed, but they crease because they're linen, but they're just gorgeous. I love them. Get loads of wear out of these. I've worn these for work, I wear them casually as well, and yeah, this is another one of my favourite patterns. And you know, to say it's a free pattern as well, they're just great. So again, I will put pictures in of me wearing all of these things for you at the end of this vlog, so that you can have a good mooch about and see what I've made. The last thing that I have to show you was a last minute decision a couple of days ago when we got right to the end of April and May was in touching distance, and I thought I can sneak another make in before the end of the month. And I have wanted to make the closet case pajamas, the Carolyn pajamas, put a picture of those here, for ages. I've had that pattern now for about 2 years, I think, and I have never got round to making them. And I don't know what put me off making them. I think because I always thought they were quite involved, which in some ways they are, but they actually come together really well. Now, I decided that I wanted to do a toile version of these first, just to see on the sizing and how they come together, because they're designed obviously to be made out of woven fabrics. It's not a jersey pajama pattern, and I've always found that the traditional pajama style in a woven fabric and that I've bought in ready to wear never fit me properly, because if I get them to fit me up here, they're really tight around the waist, around the hips, and getting a pair of woven pajama bottoms to fit me has always been a bit of a nightmare. So I think that was probably one of the other reasons that put me off. But as my skills have developed over the last few years, and I'm not afraid to have a go at altering patterns now, I decided to toile these and have a go. So I found some lovely cotton lawn that I had in my stash that I originally got from Indian Royal Treasure, I think about 3 or 4 years ago now, and it's just been sat in my stash forever, to be honest. And I did have some piping and thought, you know what, I will have a go at making these. Now, when I pulled out my pattern, I don't seem to have the original pattern PDF printed out. I've obviously got the digital file, and I know that I printed it out and stuck it all together, and then I've traced it off, and I'd got the traced off pieces but not the original pattern. So I don't know where that is at the minute. It's somewhere in my pit of a sewing cave, but so I'm going to have to hunt that down. But I only had the traced off pattern pieces. I really didn't want to be printing out that pattern again, because as you can imagine, you know, there's lots of options with the Carolyn pajamas, and it's a lot of pages, and I felt like that would be quite wasteful when I know that I have it printed off somewhere. So I'm going to have to hunt for that. But I looked at the traced off pieces that I'd traced off, and looked at the sizing, and I know that when I traced it off I was a little bit smaller than what I am now, and so I was a bit worried that it might not work, but I thought, well, look, you know, let's just go with it and see. So here they are. Anyway, I have made the shorts version, so I've made the shorts with the short sleeve pajama tops. So these are the bottoms here, and this is just a close-up to show you the fabric. It's really lovely, nice, light and airy for summer, which I think will be lovely. I really like the deep waistband. It has a faux fly front, that you can see there. Little pockets again at the side, and then piping detail around the legs. I'll bring them back to show you. And that's the back. So this isn't the first time that I've ever inserted piping. I made my own piping. I used 3mm piping cord, which is all I had in my stash, and I only just had enough. I don't know how much I have used altogether. I would say around about 3 meters, but I only just had enough, so I have ordered some more because I want to make another pair. But yeah, I made my own piping using some black cotton that I had in my stash, and basically all you do is cut bias binding and insert the piping cord in, stitch it in using you can use a piping foot if you have one. I don't for my faff machine, so I just used my zipper foot and that worked fine. So yeah, so they're the little cuffed shorts, and then the pajama top is here. So this is it here, and I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. So obviously it's a lapel top with a little breast pocket there, which is all piped. The sleeves are all cuffed with piping, and I have piped all the way around the collar and the lapels as well. I've used just plain sort of clear buttons that were in my stash. Don't know if you can see those very well. And I've worn it already. Now the only thing, I love this pattern, let me say straight away, that the techniques that, gosh, I can't remember her name. I can't remember the designer's name for Closet Case Patterns. I can see her, but I can't remember her name. But anyway, the techniques that she talks you through into constructing these pajamas are brilliant. I would say that her instructions are not as clear. When I say not as clear, they are clear, but if you are a beginner sewer, then I think you may struggle with a couple of the instructions, because like Tilly, with Tilly, when she gives you instructions, she talks you through absolutely step by step and breaks everything down. Closet case patterns don't tend to do that. They're not as sparse anywhere near as like Burda or even the commercial patterns, but I don't think that she talks you through every step as clearly as she possibly could be. So just bear that in mind, because obviously this kind of pattern is a little bit more involved. So having said that, some of the tips that she gives you are absolutely brilliant, such as the pocket, for instance. One of the things with pockets is that you obviously have to fold over all the edges and press before you stitch it onto your pattern, your fabric pattern piece. And what she tells you to do first is to stay stitch at the seam allowance edge before you fold them over, and use that as your fold line. And it's just simple things like that that are actually really useful and work really well. So it means that when you are pressing your pocket, it's not distorting out of shape, and it's just little things like that I found really, really useful. I found the instructions for the construction of the faux fly on the pants really, really clear and really good, because at the first I couldn't see. I've never done a faux fly before. I've done a real one but not a faux one, and I couldn't see how it was going to work. And that's the thing with me, I like to be able to visualize how things are coming together, because that makes it easy for me to construct things when I can see how it's going to look. And I could not imagine how this pattern piece was going to create this faux fly, but it does. It comes together really well. And so I just put my faith in her instructions and followed them to the letter, and it works really well. So I'm really pleased with how that came out. Now the only thing there's two things that I'm disappointed with. I do feel the lapel instructions were not as clear as Sew Over It's, and that's me just comparing the two. I've made a couple of Sew Over It designs that have a lapel like this that I found came together easier than this. And I think one of the reasons for that is because this doesn't have a facing. So she has you construct the collar slightly differently so that you don't end up with a facing, which is fine because it's quite nice not to have a facing in your pajamas. But obviously the lapel does have a little bit of a facing, and you end up having to stitch that to your shoulder seam. And also the way that the join comes of the lapel to the collar here, you've got to get that absolutely spot on to make sure that it fits, especially if you're using piping, because the piping draws your eyes to it. And I ended up with mine not quite right, because if you look at my lapels on both sides, they don't match up. There is one, so if I just put that against me there, you can see that this lapel looks great, how it sort of goes in there, and this side, it sort of comes down rather than, do you see what I mean? So it's not quite perfect. And reading the instructions, I ended up having to sort of do my own thing with it, because I couldn't quite get my head around a couple of things. I think I did understand how the lapel attached to the collar here and the shoulder seam. I could see that that's how it went, but I didn't think the instructions on how to do that were very clear, if that makes sense. But I still got it put together, so it's fine, and I'm really happy with them. The only other thing is the sleeves are a little bit tight. You will see in the pictures that I put in that this sleeve is really hugging my upper arms. Now, obviously in the pattern, it's not supposed to do that, and I cut out a size 8 top, a US size 8, which is obviously a UK 12, and there is plenty of room in the top for me, and the rest of the top, it fits me really, really well. But the sleeve should be loose, and it's not. It's quite really fitted on my, it's not uncomfortably tight, but it is too tight. You know, pajamas, you want them to be loose, don't you? So I'm gonna have to look at that sleeve. I've never had this before in any other pattern where the top part's fitted and the sleeve's been too tight, so I don't know whether I've just inadvertently traced off the wrong size sleeve for this top. Maybe I've traced off the size 6, I'm not sure, but without obviously finding the pattern, I don't know. So I might just have to look at my PDF file and print out the sleeve pieces again and stick those together and retrace that before I make my next pair, because I am going to make another pair of these because I love them so much. They're so nice. So yeah, that's it. That's all my separates that I made in April. So let me know what you think down below, and I hope you've enjoyed having a little look. It's been really, it's been great. It's been great. I've learned so many new things this month, and that's the thing with sewing, isn't it? That if you just try different things, that you learn different things, and you know, you're always learning, no matter how much you sew or how often you sew or how long you've been sewing for. There's always something new that you've not seen before or not done. So it's always an adventure, isn't it? So anyway, that's it from me today, but I will be back with you really soon, I'm sure. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would, and I'll be back with you really soon. Take care, bye.